used to have the belief that doing more sets would equal to more gains. So I was doing on average 5 sets per exercise, thinking that yeah, if I want to grow this muscle, if I want to focus on this muscle, I need to do as much exercise, as much set as possible on that certain exercise, much as possible on push-ups. That was my belief. That was how I approached my training, thinking I would actually grow in that way. And of course, I didn't make progress. Didn't make. I pretty much made very little progress, even though I was still a beginner and I still had newbie gains. Pretty much made zero progress. And that's not until I truly understood that I first broke that belief and understood that I could actually make as much, if not like more, way more progress by drastically reducing the amount of sets that I did. And then when I understood that more volume doesn't equal to more muscle, more volume doesn't equal to more strength. That's when I finally understood that. That's when I started to get on the right track, and I was on my way to make progress. I didn't instantly start making progress when I reduced the amount of things I was doing. No, there were still other mistakes that I made, but it was the first step towards me having this new philosophy that I have in my training. So what I do right now is I only do 2 sets per exercises, not anymore, not more, not 3 sets, not 4 sets, 2 sets per exercise. And on average, I do 2 exercises per muscle group per session. So on average, I would say, on certain exercises, I only do 1 exercise. On certain muscle group, I only do 1 exercise. But on average, I'll say per week, I do 4 to 8 sets per muscle group. So that's very low. Most people say that to make progress, you need to do at least 10 sets per muscle group. But no, the most sets I do per muscle group is 10. And I'm making the most gains I've ever made. And I'm progressively overloading every single session. And I'm growing the fastest I've ever grown in my whole journey right now. And that's because I do less. Less but better. The other thing that I do that helps me to actually progress more. Because if I just reduce the amount of sets that I did, it wouldn't actually bring me much. But I go to failure on every single set. Every set is taken to failure. Every set. And since I've been doing this, combining just doing 2 sets per exercise and going to failure on every set with good form, not going to failure with shit form, starting with okay form, and then as it becomes difficult, you start using body English and all those things. No, I keep pretty much the same form throughout the whole set. The only thing that changes is the speed of my concentric because my muscle is more fatigued toward the end of the set. But other than that, my form looks pretty much robotic on most exercises. Of course, maybe on some exercises my form would maybe a little bit change. I'm not perfect. I'll make maybe a mistake. But most of the time, it looks pretty much the same. Pretty much the exact 99.999% of the time. I'll say even close to 100. My form pretty much looks the exact same from the first set to the last one. The only thing that changes is the speed of the concentric, the speed at which I move the weight up. And that's kind of, I want to kind of talk about more. If you want to train with more intensity, if you want to train to failure on every set, you will need to do less sets. So more intensity equals, if you want to do more intensity, you should reduce your volume. If you want to do more volume, you should reduce your intensity. That's kind of what I've started to understand with research and watching other people that are smarter than me in this space. That there's a correlation, and there shouldn't be. You can't increase both at the same time. You know, if you increase one, the other one has to go down. So, for example, imagine you have 100 points that have to be distributed between volume and intensity. or say 20 points. So I have to be distributed between the volume and intensity, like it's a video game. You can't put 20 on volume and 20 on intensity. You can maybe put 5 on volume, 15 on intensity, or the other way around, 15 on volume, 5 on intensity. But the caveat is there is a limit to how low the intensity of your training can be. You need to go at least to the point where you just have 3 reps in reserve, 3 reps in reserve. So at 3 reps in reserve is basically that at the end of your set, you could have only done 3 more reps of that a certain exercise with the same form. That's the lightest intensity you can train at. If you go any lighter, any easier, it's been shown scientifically that the results you will gain will be a lot less. That you need to, if you want to gain as much muscle as possible, and you actually want to make good progress, you need to actually go to the point where you at least have, the most have 3 reps in reserve. I think that's the thing that's holding a lot of people back, especially like myself when I was younger and I first discovered training. And the first year or almost 2 years of my training, what really held me back is the fact that I wasn't training hard enough, but I was delusional thinking, yeah, I'm training hard enough. But I wasn't. And I had this false belief. I was doing 5 sets per exercise, but I thought I was training hard on every single one of them. I was doing like 40 sets per session. It was absolutely crazy. Thinking that I would still grow with that amount of volume. So, I think something that helped me in general is also to understand that I didn't know what true failure was. Be humble and be like, yo, I'm not progressing right now. And a lot of these YouTubers say you probably don't know what true failure is. So that's when I touch myself. I probably don't. I'm not progressing right now. I'm looking for help so they know more than me. And having the humility to know I'm being a pussy on most of my sets and I'm not really good to failure. I don't know what true failure is. So what I did is I first went down to 1 set per exercise. And I just focused on pushing the intensity to the max and really teaching myself how to go to failure. Really teaching myself this skill, seeing it as a skill, the skill of going to failure, and teaching myself the skill of going to failure and mastering it. So that I'm able to do it on every set, because going to failure isn't easy. It isn't easy, especially on some exercises. Yesterday I did weighted dips with deep range of motion and a pause at the bottom. And I did 6 reps with 20 kg, 20 extra kg. And it was fucking difficult to go to failure on that. It was fucking difficult. It wasn't easy. It was painful. So going to failure isn't easy. My whole session yesterday was difficult. But because I'm doing less sets, it isn't super taxing on my recovery. I'm able to recover very well because the amount of sets I'm doing are so low. But the intensity is very high so that I can still get maximum stimulus. So yeah, that's basically all I had to say. I just want you to really consider this philosophy and really understand that more sets, more volume doesn't equal to more results. You can do less and get more results. And often, most people, I think, in my opinion, could get more from doing less. Because you have this perspective that more equals more. The more you put in equals what you put out, what you get out. The more you put in, the more you get out. No, it doesn't work like that in fitness. That's not how it works. It's about putting the right things in with the right amount. And that's how you get the most out. So yeah, that's basically all I have to say. I really hope you can consider this philosophy and really implement it. If you're not making good progress right now, if you're not satisfied with your progress right now, if you're not progressing every session, and you're still not that advanced in your training, then give this at least a try before rejecting it. So yeah, that's all I have to say, because I really wish I did sooner and I understood this when I was still a beginner. Because if I did understand this when I was still a beginner, I would be a lot further right now in my fitness journey. So yeah, that's all I have to say. If you're interested in my fitness coaching, you can click the first link in the description. Don't wander from discomfort, chase it.